This is the murder of Robin Daphne Michelle West, Sarah Butler, Joanne Brown, and Mawa Doumbia. This is the story of the victims of the tag killer. Kalil Wheeler Weaver was born on April 20th, 1996 and grew up in the well-to-do neighborhood of Seven Oaks in Orange, New Jersey. He comes from a family of law enforcement officers employed in the region. His stepfather is a detective in the neighborhood town of East Orange, and his uncle is retired from the Newark Police Department. As a member of the class of 2014 at Orange High School, he had few friends, did not participate in extracurricular activities, and did not date. A high school classmate described Wheeler Weaver's style as nerdy and thought that his tucked-in shirts, khaki pants, and pale white shoes were evident that he came from a good home, a good family. At the time of his crimes, Wheeler Weaver worked as a security guard with Sterling Securities and, according to the search history on his phone, had hope of becoming a police officer. Between August 2016 and November 2016, Wheeler Weaver lured his victims using a date app and murdered 3 women in an attempt to kill a 4th. One of the victims' friends created a fake account and lured Wheeler Weaver to a meeting before notifying the police. Kalil Wheeler Weaver's first victim was 19-year-old Robin West. According to her mother, West struggled with mental health issues. At the time of her disappearance on August 31st, 2016, West was getting the majority of her income from sex work. The day after she vanished, local police responded to calls about a fire in an abandoned house. Upon entering the house, they discovered West's charred remains. Her body was so badly burnt that she could not be identified until 2 weeks later through the use of dental records. Due to the state of her remains, her cause of death could not be determined. When he was later questioned about West's murder, Wheeler Weaver told detectives that he had gone for a meal with West and dropped her off at an abandoned house about 2 blocks from where she was found. But mere weeks after West's body was found, another woman disappeared under mysterious circumstances. Joanne Brown, who was 33 in 2016, was struggling with homelessness and also had mental health problems. She was last seen getting into Wheeler's Weaver car on October 22nd, 2016, and was reported missing later that month. On December 5th, 2016, Brown remains was discovered in a different abandoned house. Tape covered her nose and mouth. The cause of death was ultimately ruled as strangulation. On November 22nd, 2016, Wheeler Weaver murdered his 3rd and final victim, 20-year-old Sarah Butler, a second-year student at New Jersey City University. Butler was a deviation from Weaver Wheeler's other victim, as she was not a sex worker and did not struggle with mental health issues. She was also close to her family and in the middle of her earning a degree. Essex County Assistant Prosecutor Adam Wells later described how the tag killer selected victims, saying he targeted women he deemed somehow less than human, less valuable. Wheeler Weaver said Wells thought maybe they wouldn't be missed. Wheeler Weaver's murder of Sarah Butler, however, would ultimately result in his capture. Butler was home for Thanksgiving when she met Wheeler Weaver on Tag, a social media app. The two had planned to go out before, but Butler decided against it. But when Wheeler Weaver offered her $500 for sex, she agreed. Butler jokingly texted him before their date, "You're not a serial killer, right?" Butler told her mother she was going to meet a friend and borrowed her van. Thinking nothing of it, her mother said goodbye. This was the last time anyone would see Sarah Butler alive. Her body was discovered on December 1st, 2016 at the 400-acre Eagle Rock Reservation in West Orange. On November 15, 2016, just before Butler's murder, another woman named Tiffany Taylor approached authorities regarding an encounter she had with Wheeler Weaver that almost left her dead. Taylor was 34 years old, several months pregnant, and had recently become homeless. She relied on sex work to get by. She told authorities she had made a deal with Wheeler Weaver to pay her for sex. They met at a motel in Elizabeth, New Jersey, and left in Wheeler Weaver's car. But He then put on a ski mask and proceeded to handcuff Taylor and duct tape her mouth. He raped her in the back of the car and strangled her to the point that she lost consciousness. When she awoke, Taylor somehow managed to pursue her to drive her back to the motel. Once there, she ran into a room and locked the door. She called 911, but Wheeler Weaver was gone by the time police arrived. Meanwhile, Sarah Butler family and friends were determined to find justice and so took matters into their own hands. Butler's sister knew the password to her social media account, including Tag. Logging on to Butler's account, she looked through her communications from the time she disappeared and discovered Wheeler Weaver. Butler's sister created a fake profile on Tag and approached Montclair police about what to do next. Together, they arranged a sting of operation. On December 6, 2016, Wheeler Weaver arrived at the location he had arranged with his date and was instead met by an undercover police officer. He was subsequently taken into custody. On the day he was taken into custody, authorities searched the Tag killer home and found 3 cell phones in his bedroom. These revealed several pieces of incriminating evidence, including searches that Wheeler Weaver had made that proved he lied to detectives about his whereabouts at the time the 3 women disappeared. His internet search included how to make homemade poison to kill humans and what chemical would you put on a rag and hold to someone's face to make them go to sleep immediately. It appeared that Wheeler Weaver also thought about applying to become a police officer, as he's also searched police entrance exam practice tests. After tracking Wheeler Weaver's cell phone, authorities could place him at the abandoned house containing West's body, which was set on fire in September 2016. His phone record also revealed that he had initially driven away, but then went back to watch the building burn. Prosecutors also showed that the last person to call Joanna Brown before she disappeared was none other than Wheeler Weaver himself. He picked her up, brought her to the abandoned house, and spent about an hour there before he left. Her body was found in the home around 6 weeks later. In February 2017, Wheeler Weaver was indicted on 3 counts of murder, 1 count of attempted murder, aggravated arson, discrimination of human remains, aggravated sexual assault, and kidnapping. He pled not guilty to 3 murders and the charge of attempted murder. In December 2019, Kalil Wheeler Weaver, the so-called Tag killer, finally had his day in court. A jury found him guilty of 11 charges, including 3 counts of murder and desecration of human remains, attempted murder, 3 counts of aggravated sexual assault, aggravated arson, and kidnapping. At his sentencing on October 6, 2021, a number of his victim's family members had the opportunity to speak. I will never forget her smile, her face, her walk, her desire to help homeless people, West's mother said. The world focused on the last moment of her life. She had a whole entire life before her demise. When it came time for Butler's father to address the court, he turned to face his daughter's killer. I hope you suffer, boy, he said every night. Wheeler Weaver would be victim Taylor also spoke. My whole life is different. I don't wear makeup anymore. I don't have friends. I'm always paranoid, but I'm happy to still be here, she said. Then Taylor turned to the judge. I hope you don't show him any remorse, she added, because he's not showing any remorse. Our praise and condolences goes out to Robin, Sarah, Joanna, and Mawa family. This is truly a devastating loss to each of the family. But one thing I'm sure of, I'm so happy that the family was able to get justice. May their soul forever rest in peace. Until next time on the Meaningful Talk Crime Doc, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll catch up with you later in the comment section.